One more round, Kris. This guy has to take his shirt off even when he's texting. It's just too restricted. Needs to be free. So I spent a couple of hours just working through some stuff on the computers, answering emails, online clients, going through some video editing, just little bits and bobs, and I thought I'd show you my desk setup when I'm here at BearWolf training. It's pretty modest, right? I just crouch down here, got my water, got a nice view of the Kaiser, and climb with the pegboard whenever I want, but it's just quite a nice chilled way to get stuff done. This is why I love my job. I'm just here working, and this guy comes in and just starts trialing this awesome stuff on the Kaiser.
1, 2, 3, do it!
One thing I do is, if I'm sat at the computer, about 2 hours on the trot is about as much as I like to do without getting up and moving about. So I've got the Kaiser there. I'm on a deload week at the moment, which just means I'm trying to help my body recover, but I'm still kind of lifting, still working through. So I'm going to do a deload session on the Kaiser. So this is the air compressor which powers the Kaiser machine. This little tube up here leads to the unit itself, where we actually create the resistance using that compressed air rather than a weight stack. What this means is you get a really smooth movement with no dead spots on it. When you're doing exercise on a typical cable machine and you kind of power through with it, the weight will kind of hit equilibrium where it changes direction, and you lose some of that weight, and then the weight will then bang and load and kind of do that in a real uneven, not very nice way. So you get that kind of dead spot where there's no weight. This just has constant tension the whole way through. So it's way better, and it allows you to go fast and be a bit more powerful and aggressive with it, which is great for sport, but also it's real subtle increments of weight change, which just means you can do some really cool things for rehab, because it's just a little bit more specific with its weight. So I'm going to do a full body workout on this, see how I get on. The gym's empty, we're out of hours, so why don't I show you around?
Get to making with jive, boy, big shine. When it hits you, yes, 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 you shine. When it hits you, yes, 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 yes. When it hits you, yes, 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 yes.
Filming with this guy today.
Hello, hello.
What are we doing, Ryan? We're filming.
So we've gone through the startup series. So it's basically how to get a newbie or someone that's new to the gym, get them on a workout plan.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Yes, 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 you shine. When it hits you, yes, 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 yes.
Where's my hair gone? I got it cut, that's what I did. I'm just about to go into a podcast with Scott. We're going to talk about getting back into training after taking a hiatus. And this is really common. It tends to be based a lot around work or just whatever, when a routine changes. That's when training often drops down the list of priorities and you fall off the wagon a little bit, and then it becomes really hard to get back into it because you might not be as fit as you were when you last left it, and loads of people will just go, oh, if you want it enough, do it. It's not that simple. What I really want people to focus on, instead of looking at a version of them in the past, it's almost like comparing yourself to someone else. It's not relevant to the situation that you're in now, and you can dwell on it, or you can look and move forwards and just be better than you were yesterday. So yeah, it's looking back in the past, but it's not so far that it's unreasonable. It's a completely different person. You're pretty much the same person that you were yesterday, but the potential with a new day is huge. So that's what we're talking about. Looking forward to hearing Scott's perspective on it.
And also, don't put stress about trying to do a workout for time or trying to hit your PB numbers. Just try and prioritise getting to the gym for you, and whatever you get out of it should purely just be the fact that you've expelled some energy, you've capitalised on the positive vibes of training.
So we've just finished another podcast on the BearWolf Training Podcast. It was episode 11.
Smashing through these now.
And it was a question from my friend Ivan, who asked, how do you get back into training after hiatus? Really common thing, right?
Yeah, the most common thing we see.
Yeah.
Someone comes in the gym, so okay, what's your training background? Oh yeah, I was at the gym 20 years ago, but then work took off and I had kids and I had a family. And I just lost track of it. That's common.
And that's quite like a long hiatus, but sometimes people panic over just going on holiday for a week and getting back into the drift. They fear that they're going to lose all the hard work that they've put in, which isn't the case. But we discuss it, and if anything, if people get anything out of it, it's to kind of explain to people that consistency is ideal, but it's not always reasonable. Life isn't a consistent, just nice linear path. You get busy.
Life throws curveballs at you, doesn't it?
Exactly. So we kind of teach people in the podcast how to recover from those curveballs if it's clocked you right in the face. There we are. I'll see you next week, sir.